A large cloud of Sahara dust is blanketing parts of the Caribbean with the unusual weather even not seen for 50 years. Dubbed the Godzilla dust cloud, it has covered parts of the region, including Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Barbados.
Dust and Sandstorms: Science from Nature to End Animal People Exploitation, Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Welcome to our show, Dust and Sandstorms: Science from Nature to End Animal People Exploitation, Part 1 of 2. On today's show, we'll present a series of apocalyptic-type extreme weather occurrences that have become more frequent around the world. Dust storms or sandstorms occur when strong winds lift large amounts of sand or dust from arid and semi-arid regions into the atmosphere. The dust and sand are carried around by strong winds, resulting in catastrophic weather events. The root cause of these weather phenomena is desertification, which occurs when the ecologies of dry lands, including arid and semi-arid lands, are damaged by natural or human-made activities. Overgrazing is known to be the single most significant cause of desertification worldwide. The recent global increase in raising animal-people livestock has led to significant land degradation in dry lands, including vast desert lands. Due to ongoing desertification around the world, landscape erosion has led to increased soil and sand mobility, resulting in increased occurrences of dust storms and sandstorms. These occurrences are exacerbated by global greenhouse gases caused by methane emissions from the animal-people livestock industry. When powered by extremely intense winds, the walls of sandstorms can be miles long and several thousand feet high. In 2020, powerful winds that swept up dust and sand from Africa raced more than 70 kilometers per hour across the Atlantic Ocean, resulting in the largest dust storm on record. In June of that year, it was reported that the colossal dust storm had hit Puerto Rico, whose residents woke up to find themselves shrouded in a thick haze filled with reddish dust. The monster-sized dust plume was dubbed the Godzilla dust cloud.
Massive dust storm blanketing the Caribbean after traveling more than 3,000 miles from Africa, and it's now taking aim at the U.S. This is what it looks like on the island of St. Vincent right now. These photos were sent to us by someone who lives there. You can see the thick, heavy, fine sand particles floating in the air. A similar story in the British Virgin Islands. These are before and after pictures. And air quality across most of that region is at record hazardous levels. Health officials are saying that they are warning people to stay indoors and use air filters. The so-called Godzilla dust cloud originated in the Sahara Desert. It is an annual event, but experts say this is the largest and most intense in 50 years. The system is now headed our way and could reach the southern U.S. by tomorrow.
The movement of Godzilla was observed by NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. It was recorded to be nearly as big as the continental United States. Regarding the storm, Dr. Hong Bin Yu said, the Godzilla plume weighed nearly 24 million tons, enough to fill thousands of Olympic-sized swimming pools. Air quality across most of the Caribbean region reached hazardous levels, negatively affecting the health of residents. The dusty, hazy atmosphere from dust storms can include a range of pollutants, including particulate matter, pesticides, heavy metals, and bacteria. Thus, residents with asthmatic problems or other breathing difficulties were recommended to stay indoors. Associate Professor Dr. Pablo Mendez Lazaro said, "This is the most significant event in the past 50 years. Health conditions are dangerous in many Caribbean islands." Studies in atmospheric science suggest that dust storms can be amplified by the effects of climate change, leading to such extreme weather events. Dr. Michael Mann, who has investigated Arctic weather changes, considers Arctic warming and declining sea ice to be the root cause of Godzilla's far-reaching effects. He says, arguably, there is at least an indirect connection between climate change and these notable dust storms.
A large cloud of Sahara dust is blanketing parts of the Caribbean with the unusual weather even not seen for 50 years. Dubbed the Godzilla dust cloud, it has covered parts of the region, including Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Barbados.
After Godzilla swept into the Caribbean, extreme weather conditions continued and appeared in other locations. In late 2021, 2 consecutive massive dust storms swept through Australia. In October, the first hit Targominda, a small outback town in Queensland's far southwest. Winds up to 93 kilometers per hour moved a wall of thick brown dust through the town. Meteorologist Dr. James Thompson explained that the dust originated about 100 kilometers inland in Queensland's far west and was carried across the skies due to extreme winds. In December, another intense dust storm with winds gusting as high as 109 kilometers per hour engulfed settlements throughout northwest Queensland in Australia. It was reported that the usual blue horizon over Australia's skyline turned a hazy orange hue, giving an apocalyptic feeling to the residents, who described the storm as the biggest they had seen in years. Let's take a brief interval now to pray that those residing in the areas affected by dust or sandstorms remain safe and well. We'll be right back for more about Signs of Nature's Warning for Humanity here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show, Dust and Sandstorms, Signs from Nature to End Animal-People Exploitation, Part 1 of 2. In mid-March 2021, another massive sandstorm, along with high levels of hazardous air pollution, turned the skies of Beijing, the capital of China, a scary orange color. The terrifying swaths of thick orange clouds that engulfed the city caused chaos in many citizens' lives. Poor visibility affected both road and logistical air activities. More than 400 flights were cancelled in Beijing, while several roads in Inner Mongolia, Shaanxi, and Xinjiang were closed. Tall skyscrapers towering over Beijing's landscape seemingly disappeared in the foggy skies. The dust storm brought along tiny particles that lingered in the city's air, causing exceptionally high levels of air pollution. In Beijing, Microscopic polluting particles known as PM10 were measured to be more than 9,000 micrograms per cubic meter, which is 180 times the level deemed healthy by the World Health Organization. During the event, Greenpeace East Asia's senior climate and energy policy officer Li Shu said, "It's pretty bad. You can barely see 200 meters away from you."
A fierce sandstorm, towering at least 100 meters or 330 feet, struck the Chinese city of Dunhuang. Local weather authorities issued a yellow warning, the second lowest alert in China's four-tier system. Just a week ago, the northwestern Chinese city was hit by another massive sandstorm. It forced the shutdown of major expressways. Located in the Gobi Desert, the region is no stranger to harsh climate. But sandstorms, which typically occur from March to May, are rare in the summer. Experts believe the extreme weather is caused by the hot and dry climate. Two millimeters, or 0.08 inches of total precipitation, has been recorded in Dunhuang since June, 86% less compared with the same period in 2020.
NASA scientist Dr. Hiren Jethwa says it's uncommon for dust storms to grow so large so fast. Other startling incidents spotted in China are dust devils, ghostly-looking whirlpools of black dust particles caused by funnel-like whirlwinds. Strong dust devils with wind speeds of up to 60 miles per hour can potentially cause damage to small structures or even injuries to those in their path. On May 18, 2022, a massive dust devil was spotted spinning through the city of Tangshan in China. No property damage or injuries of any kind were reported. The series of dust and sandstorms that have taken place for the past few years have reached the European continent. In mid-March 2022, dust from the Sahara drifted north into Europe, coating cars with a rusty reddish layer in Spain. A gloomy orange glow in the skies across the continent was formed. In Spain, the thick dust layer lingered for several days, causing extremely poor air quality in various cities. In Madrid, the skies were covered with large swaths of dusty air. The Spanish citizens named the eerie orange hue calima, a Latin word meaning dense fog. Regarding such events, Dr. Sarah Bassart says, "We are seeing an unusual number of sandstorms and of unusual intensity." The sandstorm stretched across a large area of Europe. The skies of Portugal, Germany, the United Kingdom, and other parts of the continent were also enveloped with an orange hue. The European Union's Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service described the event as an exceptional Saharan dust episode, and the current concentrations of particulate matter in the dust storm are exceptionally high, and some studies predict that climate change will result in even more intense Saharan dust storms in the future. We now conclude our show with some words of advice from Supreme Master Ching Hai on the best approach to halting climate change.
The livestock raising must stop. Mongolia, as with the rest of the world, is experiencing more severe weather, more fatal patterns of climate change due to the effects of global warming. So you can see in Mongolia droughts, harsher winters, more frequency of dust storms and blizzards. With livestock raising, we deplete Mongolians' already limited natural resources and even put Mongolia country more in danger of desertification. Instead of grazing animals, we can begin planting the organic vegetables, which is more healthy to everyone.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org.